I will continue with the new chapter, that is Prameha. It's usually considered equivalent to diabetes mellitus in modern science. It's basically a lifestyle related disorder. That means those diseases which occur due to the daily habits of people. They have an inappropriate relation with environment. The factors include bad food habits, physical inactivity, improper postures, and a disturbed or improper timings of sleep, or a biological clock which is disturbed. And among conditions like obesity, depression, diabetes, chronic backache, hypertension. So all these are lifestyle elements due to these kind of inappropriate activities. So Prameha in Ayurvedic classics has been mentioned due to occurring due to such kinds of inappropriate habits, and also a genetic factor. And usually, when we see the symptoms, it can be considered as a metabolic or an endocrine disease. But in Ayurveda, it has been included under Mutravaha Shrodhavikara because urine, the appearance of urine and the quantity of urine are considered as the cardinal features to diagnose the disease condition. Vasti is the part which is involved in the Samprapti, which is Vasti is Trimarma, is a part of Trimarma that shows the importance of the disease. So it's included under the Mutravaha Shrotovikara. And you can see the types of Prameha, which has also been defined on the characteristics of abnormal urine, based on how the urine is seen. And manifestation includes, as I said, genetics is one of the involvement, and also environmental factors and behavioral changes, and altered food habits, means lack of exercise, improper biological clock. So all these reasons, lifestyle related reasons, and genetics have been considered as the causative factors of Prameha. It has been included under the Maharoga by Acharyas. Means if it is neglected, it can lead to severe complications, and we can see in diabetes, if it is neglected or improper medication is given, definitely number of systemic complications like neuropathy, retinopathy, etc. are seen in later stages. We'll come to the derivation of the disease. That is the word Prameha. It consists of two words, pra, it's a upasarga, and meha. The term meha, pra and meha. Pra means excessive, prakashayana, excessive quantity and frequency of meha. Meha is derived from the root mih sechane. Mih sechane. Sechana means watering or indicating the flow of water with reference to diseases of human body. It means urination. Meha literally it means to micturate or urination. That similar to the flow of water. There is an increased quantity, excessive quantity and frequency of urination. Mehanam, it signifies urination. So therefore the word prameha, it means passing urine profusely. We can see, according to the acharyas, it is characterized by copious flow of cloudy or turbid urine. Copious flow means prabhuda mutrada, and turbid urine is avila mutrada. And this avilata or turbidity, it varies from type to type persons depending upon the doshas and dushyas and the proportions in which they are mixed together. Coming to the definition, we can make out from few slokas that prakashayana prabhudam prachuram varam varam va mehati mutra tyagam karoti iti prameha. Then tatra avila prabhuda mutra lakshana sarva eva prameha, according to Sruta. So prakashayana prabhudam prachuram, that is excess and frequent micturition. Mutra tyagam karoti, micturition. That is prameha. And avila prabhuda mutra lakshana means turbid and excess mutra, flowing of urine. That is in all prameha, sarvaiva prameha. So this is syndrome which includes all those clinical conditions which are characterized by increased quantity of urine associated with increased frequency of micturition. polyuria and turbidity. That is Prabhuda Mutrada and Avila Mutrada are the two cardinal features of Prameha. So I'll just give an introduction to the correlation with diabetes mellitus. That is, it's a diabetes. The term it's a Greek term, diabenin, which means to pass through a siphon. Siphon means a tube, through which water is passed from a beaker to another beaker, and the water is passing through that siphon. That is diabenin or diabetes, meaning continuous free flow of water applied to mean elimination of large quantity of urine. So we can compare the elimination of large quantity of urine is compared to passing water through a siphon. And also Madhumeha and diabetes mellitus are also seen as analogous, because Madhu and mellitus. Madhu means honey and mellitus, the term mellitus also means sweetness of the honey. And then we can see that Madhumeha and diabetes mellitus both means passing of large quantity of sweet urine. So they carry, Prameha and diabetes, they carry a similar meaning. That's why it is being compared to the condition. According to WHO, diabetes mellitus is a metabolic disorder of multiple etiology, which is characterized by chronic hyperglycemia. Hyperglycemia means increased sugar in the blood, with disturbance of carbohydrate metabolism, fat metabolism, protein metabolism. So all these are disturbed, resulting from defects of insulin secretion or the action of insulin. There may be problems of secretion of insulin or the functioning of effectiveness of insulin, or both may be there. The condition may present with glycosuria, that means presence of sugar in urine, or without glycosuria. So sugar may or may not be there depending on the stage of the condition. And polyuria, polyphagia, polydipsia. These three are the cardinal features of diabetes mellitus, or the 3P. P means starting with polyuria, polyphagia, and polydipsia. That is, polyuria is excessive urination. Polyphagia is increased hunger. Then polydipsia is increased thirst. Welcome to the Nidana, or the causative factors of the disorder. Charaka has explained Asya Sukham, Swapna Sukham, Dadhini, Gramya Auduga Anuparasa Payamsi, Navanna Panam, Guda Vaikratam Cha, Prameha Hetu Kafakrit Cha Sarvam. So, I have mentioned the lifestyle disorders earlier, and such causes have been mentioned here by the Acharyas. That is Asya Sukham, Swapna Sukham, that means sleeping in a comfortable bed with soft cushions for a long period, sitting or lying down in a comfortable position for a long period. Then intake of dahi, curd, gramya auduga anuparasa, so flesh of animals of domestic, aquatic, or marshy places, anuparasa, due to its quality of increasing kapha. Then payamsi, means milk and milk products. Nava annapanam, fresh grains. Gudavaigradam, preparations made of jaggery. So all these are considered as the nidanas of prameha, these are seen to increase kapha in the body. So kapha krit cha sarvam. So kapha is having an importance in the samprapti of prameha. We'll come to the reference given by Ashtanga Hridaya. He has mentioned that Tesham Medo Mutra Kafavaham Annapana Kriya Jadam Yat Payas Tat Pravartakam. It is all those Ahara Viharas, Annapana and Kriya, which increases Medo Mutra Kapha in Sharira, is considered as the basic reason for occurrence of Prameha in the Sharira. And in detail, he has explained that tastes like Swada, Amla, Lavana, and gunas like Snigdha, Guru, Pichila, Shidala, so all those sweets or salty, anxious, etc. All these qualities of foods, and Navadhanya, newly cultivated or fresh grains, Sura, fermented products like Madhya Sura, and then Anupamamsa, Ikshu, Guda, Gaurasam. So all those products from sugarcane, jaggery, and milk, they produces, if in used in excess, they can produce Prameha. Milk products, almost all milk products except Takra is been mentioned because Takra is Vata Kafahara. So it has an opposite quality and it's Lekhu also. Ekasthana Asana Rati means desire to sit in same place for long time. Ekasthana Asana Ekasthana Asana Rati. Shayanam also desire to sleep in excess. Vithivarjidam, an improper timing. Akala and improper sleep timings are also mentioned as reasons for occurrence of Prameha. If you see further, the etiology of Prameha is discussed in Susra Samhita. He has as two types of Prameha, that is Sahaja and Apatya Nimittaja. Sahaja means hereditary and Apatya Nimitta means acquired. Hereditary means it is due to Bija Dosha. Do Prameho Bhavata Sahajo Apatya Nimittascha Tatra Sahajo Matra Pitra Bija Dosha Kruta. That is Bija Dosha of Pitaveva. Then apatya nimitta means acquired. Ahita ahara apatya nimitta. That is the behavioral or the lifestyle disorders which is included in the apatya nimittaja factors. Also, it is mentioned that Jada in while mentioning Madhumeha, Jada Pramehi Madhumehini Ova na Sadhya Upta Sahi Bija Doshad. So, as Madhumeha is occurring due to Bija dosha, it is asadhya, an asadhya condition. So there is a genetic factor involved, so it is asadhya. Also, achapi kechit kulaja vikara. So many such conditions are there which are occurring due to Bija dosha. And all those conditions, it is asadhya. They are asadhya. Whenever the disease occurs due to Bija dosha, it is considered as asadhya. Kulaja vikara, hereditary diseases. So all such hereditary diseases, they are considered as asadhya. And also you can see that this classification of sahaja, it is seen under the sadhya sadhya explained by Charaga, but Sushruta has explained it under the nidana of type of nidanas of Prameha. So when we consider sahaja karana, we can consider the bija dosha. So bija dosha is the genetic factor involvement. Or the genetic abnormality, that is including bija includes the bija bhaga and bija bhaga avayava, that is the chromosomes and genes in particular, and this bija dosha can occur at any level of evolution. Parents, usually example has been given by acharyas that parents, if they are not blind but their progeny may be sometimes blind, it may be due to the bija dosha occurring while in pregnancy period. Then parents may not be diabetic, but offsprings may be diabetic due to genetic defect or bija dosha. So all these have been explained by acharyas, and the reason for that may be a defective sperm or a negative intrauterine environment, and it depends on the lifestyle issues, the lifestyles parents adopt during pregnancy and in their daily routines. Usually IDDM or insulin dependent diabetes mellitus or type 1 diabetes and juvenile diabetes etc. All these are considered as sahaja or genetic, having a genetic involvement. Now we will come to the apatya nimittaja karana. It includes all those activities, improper activities and the improper diets. It includes the aharaja and viharaja nidanas. So while considering the aharaja nidanas, on compilation we will get these factors like adhyashana, overeating, or guru guna ahara atisevana, Shita Guna, all these are explained in the Nidanas sloka. Mathura, Amla, Lavana, Navana Pana, Gudavikaras, Ikshurikaras, Shira Adisevana, Dahi Adisevana, Anupamamsa, Udugamamsa Adisevana, then Gramyamamsa Adisevana, and Medo Vardaka Ahara Adisevana. So all these type of aharas which includes Medus and Kapha in the Sharira. That is the reason for Prameha. And the reason for that is that all the above mentioned aharas, they are having a predominant of Up Mahabhuta and Prithvi Mahabhuta, or Jala Mahabhuta and Prithvimavada, all these kind of aharas, and is predominant in Snigdha Guna. So these Guna and the Mahabhuta predominance, they promote Kapha and Medas. That is the initial cause of Prameha or Madhumeha. Uh, and also along with this, Abhudagni. Mahabhuta, Jala Mahabhuta is involved. So the Abhudagni or Jala Mahabhudagni is having a Vikriti, Vyapara Vikriti, and it leads to the Klayada Vriddhi in Sharira. And because of this abnormal Jala Mahabhuta or Jala Mahabhudagni, it leads to a Klayada Vriddhi or accumulation of excess fluid in Sharira, and which is the prime cause for pathogenesis of Madhumeha. This accumulation of fluid in the Sharira is the major reason when we consider the Samprapti. We'll come to the Vihara Nadanas or the activities. Sushruta has mentioned specifically Diva Sapna Vyayama Alasya Prasaktam. Then Sri Snigdha Madhura Medya, as told earlier. Purusham Janiyat Pramehi Bhavishyati. So all those people which are indulged in Diva Sapna or day sleep or improper sleep timings or excess sleep, then Vyayama, that is idle stage without any exercises. Then Alasya, laziness. So all this aggravates the kapha and medas in the sharira and causes prameha. Usually there is a very less energy expenditure at these conditions, and it leads to an ineffective mobilization of fat from the adipose tissue, and fat gets more and more deposited since the synthesis and storage of fat is continuing normally, but the using up of fat is decreased. So that leads to more and more accumulation of fat in the sharira, and eventually it leads to prameha. Acharya Charaka has mentioned a few predisposing factors or kinds of people who have chances to get affected with prameha more, like Kridhram Abhyahareshu, means voracious eater or excess intake of food, Snana Chankramanat Vishwam, have aversion to the to bath, to take bath, or has aversion or avoid those who avoid physical activity. So such persons they are more prone to get affected with Prameha. He has used a simile like birds are attracted towards the trees which has its nest. The trees which hold its nest, birds are usually, how the birds are attracted towards that tree. Prameha attracts persons with such habits. In another context, he has mentioned again this risk group of people who will get affected with Prameha badly, or which might or death can happen in such persons having Prameha. That is Mandotsaham, Adisthulam, Adisnigdham, Mahashanam, Mrityu Prameha Rubena Shipramadaya Gachadi. So in persons who are usually depressed throughout their life or lazy, Mandotsaha, without any energy. Also then Atistula, excess of base or fat persons, then Atisnigdha, anxious. They have a habit of intake of anxious behavior, and their body is of snigdha appearance. Then Mahashana, they have excess eating. So all these persons, Mrityu Prameha Rubena Kshipram Adaya Gachid. So they attain death due to effect of Prameha fastly. So they are considered as the such qualities are considered as a risk group of Prameha by Acharya Charaka. So come to the classification of Prameha. So you can classify under many headings. That is, according to etiology, I have explained earlier that Sahaja or Apatya Nibetaja, hereditary or acquired condition, is one type of classification. Sahaja Prameha and Apatya Nibetaja Prameha. And on basis of dosha vitiation, Kaphaja, Pittaja and Vataja, these are the types mentioned, and Kaphaja has 10 subtypes, Pittaja has 6 subtypes, and Vataja has 4 subtypes. Then constitutional base. On constitutional base of Prakriti, it is divided into Stula Pramehi or Balavan Pramehi and Krisha Pramehi or Durbala Pramehi. So Stula Pramehi is usually considered obese persons having type 2 diabetes mellitus, and Krisha Pramehi is asthenic type or emaciated persons as type 1 diabetes, insulin dependent diabetes mellitus conditions. Then prognostic aspect, you can see that Sadhya, Yapya and Asadhya Avastha is being mentioned. Sadhya Prameha, Yapya Prameha and
Asadhya Prameha. So these are the classifications of Prameha. Now we'll enumerate the Doshaja Bheda of Kafaja Prameha. There are 10 types. Udakameha, Ikshvalika Rasameha or Ikshumeha, Sandrameha, Sandra Prasadameha or Surameha, Shuklameha or Pishtameha, Shukrameha, Shitameha, Sikatameha, Shanaimeha, Alameha or Lalameha. These are the 10 types of Kafaja Pramehas according to various acharyas. We'll continue with the Pittaja and Vataja types. Pittaja is 6 types. Kshara Meha, Kala Meha, Neela Meha, then Lohita Meha or Shonita Meha or Rakta Meha. Different acharyas have different opinion. Manjishta Meha, Haridra Meha. These are the 6 types of Pittaja Prameha, and Vataja Prameha is of 4 types. Vasa Meha, Majja Meha or Sappi Meha, Hatti Meha, and Madhu Meha or Kshaudra Meha.